Hello, my name is Chris Trianos. I'm the medical coordinator for the Boston Marathon and the executive director of the International Institute for Race Medicine. I'm standing in front of the main medical tent for the Chicago Marathon. In this video, we'd like to take you through a couple of situations we'd like you to consider as you set up your medical tent for your event. Obviously, as you look behind me, this is an extensive medical tent. It's extensive for a number of reasons. One is the field size, 45,000 runners, so very appropriate for the needs of the event and the medical team that are going to be taking place and working in this tent on Sunday. Now, the IIRM is not suggesting you need a medical tent of this size, but we are recommending, regardless of the type of event that you have and the field size that you're facing, you do need a dedicated medical tent. So what are some of the key components in determining the size of that tent and location? And again, first off is location. Depending on where your finish line is, we recommend that the main medical tent be no more than 75 to 100 yards away from the finish line. We'll talk about finish line approaches later, but again, that medical tent needs to be appropriate in distance to that so you can quickly transport runners into it, have egress on both the front and back end, and available to runners not only at the immediate finish line, but even beyond into some of the sweep zones and post-race areas that you may support. So what happens when a runner enters the medical tent? It's very important that you have basically 3 sets of medical volunteers doing 3 sets of tasks for you to support your medical program. One is medical security. What you do not want to do is have free access in and out of that medical tent by anyone that you don't know who it is. So it's important that credentialed medical people are allowed in, race officials are allowed in, and obviously the injured runners. But then after that, medical security needs to control the flow. Secondly, you need someone to deal with medical records. That needs to be basically a recording person taking that runner's bib number and time stamp of when they come in. Piece of paper is probably the easiest way to do it, and recorded when they come in and come out. It's a quick reference point for basically everyone entering and exiting the tent. And finally, more importantly, you need to have a dedicated triage medical team. That could be physicians, nurses, athletic trainers, physical therapists, but individuals that really understand event and endurance medicine and the different maladies that may take place. So once the runner comes into the tent, they can really make an assessment as far as their medical condition goes and properly triage them to the appropriate location in the medical tent. That is absolutely key. Components to any medical tent, aside from staffing and your setup, is medical supplies. So it's very important that you have the right types and amounts of medical supplies to support your medical program, your needs, and your runners. To my left, you can see this is a pallet with a number of different supplies on it, and you can see how it's structured in again, boxes and into these types of totes, plastic totes. But again, the problem is that when you're having people that are coming in new to your event, they don't know what's in here. So this works, it's a great way to transport it, but not a great way to store it. So you need to make sure that you're displaying your medical supplies appropriately. So one way to do that is this cart over here. So again, what Chicago has done is they've taken their medical supplies and fractioned it out into smaller bins. And what I know they'll be doing here is they'll be putting signs on this so that as a medical volunteer is looking for a specific type of supply, they know exactly where to find it and find it quickly. So again, if your medical staff is rummaging through boxes, very difficult to do. So you want to make sure that the supplies are easily accessible and easy to find and easy to grab, and again, kind of in a sense spread out all throughout your medical tent.